Welcome to this episode. Here, I talk about building leadership capacity as it pertains to life, work, business, and even your home, both as a man and as a woman. So, I give you leadership tools that will help you go from point A to point B. And if you've been with us, you will know that we give helpful tips to help you build leadership capacity both as an individual, as someone who is growing in his leadership capacity, and as someone who is already in the position. So this is for both the young leader and even people who are of age. So we transform, we educate, and we inspire. Therefore, welcome to Transformation. If you are yet to subscribe to this channel, I will urge you to quickly do that so you will get notified when new content are on this channel. It doesn't hurt anyway, so just click the subscribe button and click on the notification so that if any or when any content is available, you will be the first to know about it. You don't want to miss any episode as we continue in these episodes of transformation. So let's dive deep into what we have today. Usually you think you have nothing to say until you are given the microphone or you are called on a program, whether virtually or physically, to speak about what you've been doing for the past 3 months consistently. Then you will just suddenly discover that what you have learned in 3 months is actually a lesson to teach other people. See, I've always said it. Leadership is about moving from point A to point B. And usually you don't know that you're accumulating experience until you are told to speak or a question is asked about what you are doing. See, over the weekend, I was in a program. A friend invited me to a workshop, virtual workshop, to come and speak about content creation. You know, I had just started this content creation not quite long. I've been in the leadership game for a while, but I mean, creating content, it's quite new to me. Not totally new, but consistently creating content has been a new thing for me. Maybe just barely 3 or 4 months into the game. And I didn't know I had such experience to share until he called me and said, "Kola, come, let's talk about what you've been doing. I'm inspired by what you're doing." I mean, shout out to me, the very good friend. You know, he told me he's inspired, and I was just smiling, you know, and laughing and trying to just speak down on what I'm doing, and which is what we often do, and it's something we should stop. You see, when people notice that you are doing something, don't talk down on it. The moment you talk down on it, you are telling yourself, you are psychologically telling yourself that what you're doing does not matter. So if what you're doing does not matter, why are you doing it anyway? If somebody, one person, can pick interest in what you're doing, then it really matters. If somebody can pick interest, then 10 other people are waiting to pick interest. It's just that they've not known about it, or you've not said something that touched them. And that was the quick lesson I just learned from that. And I picked it up. I kept talking before I came for the program. I kept talking about what I've learned for the past 3 months or 4 months thereabout. I told him about my journey. I told him how I started. I told him how I received inspiration. I told him what I've learned in content creation and how to, you know, stay consistent and all of those things. In all sincerity, guys, I didn't know I had accumulated such level of experience. My God, it was such, I was just talking and talking and talking. So he got to a time, he said, "Hey, KJ, please, just calm down, all right? Please, I need you to say these things you are saying to me privately to a larger audience." I was like, oh, I almost made the first mistake. So I just caught myself. And then I took the challenge, and then I was in this program event talking very wonderful people. I mean, Likes to Light, shout out to the organizers of Likes to Light, midday, especially at the forefront. You know, it was a very receptive audience, you know, different from what I've had I mean, I'm not talking about leadership, but I mean, content creation. I never knew I could take a class on content creation until that day. And it was so engaging that even when I was done with my presentation, many of them came around and were just like, oh, okay. I mean, many of them were asking me questions around, okay, how do you draw up inspiration? Even though I've said it, I still had more to say. Right now, I still have more to say. In fact, when I was done, I said, I didn't talk about this. I didn't talk about this. So that made me realize that, you see, as a leader, you have so much in you. Your daily experience is for somebody coming behind you or even going ahead of you to learn from. And so we all have a voice. We all have something to say, and we should say it. So I'll be drawing up leadership lessons as we go on, but let's continue in this conversation. And here's the first lesson I want to bring to you. Never despise the days of little beginning. It is very unwise to despise the days of your beginning. And your days of beginning can be as long as anything, but it's still days of small beginning. Everything big actually started small. As old as you are, maybe you are as tall as 6 feet. I don't know how they measure these things. Maybe 6 feet. You see, so were you 6 feet when you were born? It means that every 6 feet started with 1 feet. So those little efforts really account for something later. You have to be patient for it. I didn't have viral videos. I didn't have a large community. I didn't have the likes in thousands. I didn't have the big platform, as you want to call it. But there's something just very important for me, and that is my consistency. I show up every day and I innovate forward, because again, every time I define consistency, I say consistency is your ability to show up every day, become patient, and innovate forward. So innovation is a vital part of consistency. So each time I do a video, create a content, I go back to it, see what I can do better, watch other people in my niche who are doing it better, and see what I can learn from them to add to what I am already doing. So that is how I have built whatever I'm building hitherto. You see, so, and that has helped me over time and is a great lesson in leadership. So leadership is not in the viral moment. It is what you build in invisible discipline. Leadership is known in the secret, not what you do in the public. You must learn this. Every post, everything you write, every idea you share, and it looks like nobody is seeing you, nobody is watching. What you don't know is you are building muscle, you are building strength. More importantly, you are building depth. And that depth is what will show up eventually as you begin to grow up your career ladder. Meanwhile, when the opportunity shows up, that depth will show up and people will know that you've been building in secret. So don't give up. And the second lesson I learned is the fact that clarity is born in preparation. See, when I was trying to figure out my presentation for the event, trying to see what I'll put together for my presentation anyway, I began to notice pattern. I began to notice, recurring events in my content ideas. And I discovered that, oh, okay, wow, mind-blowing things that I never took notice of start showing up while I was preparing. So interestingly, I got clarity. I got clarity when I was preparing, and it's very important and interesting for me. And the lesson is preparation forces you, to prepare better for your journey, to see certain things that you've never seen, even in your journey. Many people wait to feel ready before they step forward. Meanwhile, leadership is a leap of faith. You actually step forward, and then in the process of doing it, then you feel ready. Sometimes you have to be audacious in this journey of leadership. Anything, whether in your career, in bringing up a family, in business, in whatever you're doing, you need some level of audacity to step into the water before you figure some things out. You always need it. So here is it. Sometimes you don't know the value of your journey until you are told to explain or to speak about it. Lesson 3 for me is the fact that courage compounds. Call it CC, but courage compounds. There are times in my journey when I felt like I can't put my face out there. I was really afraid to put my face out there. But you see, the more I did it afraid, I was showing up afraid, the more courageous rather I became. Because eventually courage is not known when you are doing nothing. When you ask God to give you courage, what he gives you is situation that will demand you to take a leap of faith. And that was the simple thing I did. I just took a leap of faith, and the rest is history. Kept showing up showing my face, whether good or bad. I just kept showing up. You can do this. The reason you can do it is because courage grows with repetition. Never forget that. Courage grows with repetition. The first thing, or the first video, maybe you're a content creator watching me, the first video may shake you. You may be shy. The second, 10th, 20th video, you are still trying to figure some things out. When you get to the 100th video, oh my God, by that time you are established in what you're doing. And so that's why you can't afford to give up. Can't afford to give up. Fear is what makes you give up. You are afraid of what people will say. That kills faster than anything. In fact, it's death in itself. So you can't be afraid of what people will say. You have to be afraid of what generations after you will say because of what you didn't do. That is the greatest fear of any leader. Hence, you have to build capacity in your journey, because every time you take a leap of faith, what you are afraid of becomes the stepping stone for you to build capacity in your leadership journey. And the fourth and the last lesson I learned from this whole thing is that influence is deeper than visibility. In that room, I was just looking at it, and the way people were asking me questions, I felt like I don't even have millions of followers. I don't have the large community. But that tells me that people are watching you. And leadership is about influence. The words you say, the acts you do, the things you do really speaks to people, and people are watching you. People want to learn from you. And for me, the questions I got, the responses I got, the openness from people told me that okay, leadership is more important in terms of influence over visibility. There are many people who have given up on their journey of life because they feel they are not visible. See, don't always hinge your journey on visibility. Let it be on influence. Influence is greater than visibility. I tell you that anytime, any day. I discovered again eventually that influence begins with intentionality. I'm quite intentional about my videos. I'm quite intentional about my content, and I'm quite intentional about how I am perceived. So, and that is one leadership lesson you should learn. No matter how small you have, no matter how small your equipment are, maybe as a content creator, or no matter how small the skill you think you have is, no matter how small it is, whatever you have as a leader, no matter how small, you can create something excellent from it. This is just the truth. You can create excellence from it. Let your mind go beyond what you have, because what you have should not determine what you can be. What real poverty is that you scope your life within the concept or the ecosystem of what you have in the present. What you have should not be the reason why you can't think beyond where you are. Because you first get to a place in your imagination before you get there physically. This is not motivational. It is not trying to inspire you. It's the reality. Speak of any rich person, any successful person, any great leader today. They see it in their mind first, not with where they are currently. They see it in their mind first before they are able to go for it, because vision is what determines leadership. So what I'm saying is the fact that these lessons are the lessons I have learned over the weekend, and I believe that you have learned something from this also. See, don't be afraid to let go of your fears. Don't be afraid to let go of what is stopping you from becoming who you really need to be. Because one day you'll be asked to tell your story. What would you actually say? All right. So I hope you've learned something from this class, if you want to call it a class. But this is transformation, and it's going to help you grow in your journey as a leader, put as individual in your building as an individual or as a person. All right. So I'll see you on the next one. Hope to have you around again. Thank you. The fact that you can do so many things does not mean you should do so many things. If your presence cannot show people that they can become better, you are not leading yet. You are just being visible. Whether you feel like it or you don't feel like it, show up every day. Now that you know, what would you do about it?